Say to YouTube, let's do this, chat.
It is ooh la la Lawler.
Hi YouTube, it is me youtube.com/John Sandman.
How's it going, everybody? John Sandman, I love you to death. I miss you dearly. You are also a troll, and that's why I love you so much. 49 months, man. Appreciate the resub. Chat, we've got something interesting to talk about today. For those that do not know, there is a new mechanic, putting it in quotes because it's not a new mechanic. It's an implementation of an old mechanic that's been around for 2 years. Someone's just found a viable use for it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's been a conversation around a specific thing that's been making waves now for the past week and a half. And already over the course of that week or so, it has already developed and gotten better over the time. We got some fun stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about the history, where it came from, how it was implemented, and then shout outs to the community over in Japan and being so nice. They actually sent me a replay file so we can go in game to actually showcase you exactly what is happening, which I have yet to do. I have actually not gone in and looked at the replay yet, so we may find some stuff out together. So basically 3 parts we're going to go through. Let's start with the first part. If you guys do not know, a player by the name of Fetelix, who's a competitive player over in Japan, put out a clip of him hitting a air dribble. And people look at it and go, what's so unique about that? And what he's doing is a mechanic that has existed for about 2 years now. The mechanic we're talking about in particular is called the Hel Jump. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but there is a mechanic in Rocket League called the Hel Jump, which basically what you are doing is when you land in Rocket League, and I will show this as well, when you land in Rocket League and you do a wave dash, your wheels in a physics-based game have suspension, right? And because of that, if you land with your suspension, your car will indirectly pop back up. If you do that correctly, you will actually lift off the ground, and if you spend boost, it will allow you to get off the ground without actually using your jump. Case in point, does it here. He's going to jump again. After he does it, wait for it. So he does it in motion, jumps again, and you see that pop that you get in the nose. So what he's doing is when he jumps, if we're facing sideways in the car, right? He's taking the wheels here and putting those down further. So the car is actually angled like this. When those wheels hit, the suspension then pushes it back up. And then this part of the car also comes down faster. If you do that all at once, you are basically forcing like in like skateboarding and ollie. You're basically slapping the car down and forcing that to carry through and then pop back up. Exactly, Favi. Physics. So because of that, the car is basically doing this, hitting here, smacking, and then popping back up. And all that energy is going this way, which then allows him to get off the ground without actually using his jump, because the jump he is using is resetting with all 4 wheels touching the ground. So the first 2 hit, the second 2 hit, and when he jumps with the second 2, it pops this motion back up. Therefore, it allows him to then do this. Notice how the nose pops up now. And if you carry your boost through that and do it appropriately, you can then save your jump at any given moment. Okay? So if you get that motion down really well, you see how much is actually being popped. And because he's jumping here, first 2 wheels touch, second 2 wheels touch, he has reset his flip. This was deemed what is called the Hel Jump, or the Helix Jump. We're going to call it the Hel Jump. And the benefit, as you can see, is now his jump is still available whenever he wants to use it. It's just like falling off the ceiling and using gravity. You have never used your jump and that time has not expired. Therefore, you are allowed to now do this. This all stems from the update that came out with transparent goalposts way back. I think it was version 1.11 or something like that way back when they updated for Neo Tokyo that enabled flip resets and everything else. That made this available. So because he's popping up and propelling himself with boost, he is not using that jump that is available. This was back in August of 2018. This has been around for a very long time. But what is unique about it is the player here, Fetelix, has found a way to do that off the sidewall and is using a Hel Jump off the sidewall to propel himself left to right. The way that that is working, we'll have to jump into the game for, and I'll explain that. But as it's gotten better and better, you can see the implementation of it and how much better people are using it for different things. Okay. I have this replay file. Yamato has I reached out to Yamato. He sent me the replay file. We have it. We're going to pull up this exact same play and look step by step at what he's doing on the sidewall to provide some insight and explain the exact situation. It actually makes sense. He's doing a diagonal wave dash to pop himself up, and then he, because of that, is propelling himself off, is allowing him to go further. This is over the course. So this was on December 25th. This was actually on Christmas. This was on the 29th. This was done 3 days ago. So this was on the 14th of January. In just 2 weeks, people are showing the implementation and how much smoother it looks. That is so much smoother than the one we just saw. And that was over 2 weeks of practice. So you look at this one and like how awkward it is initially and like trying to adjust and control it and etc. Right? Versus this one. Yamato is a Japanese freestyler.
No matter.
So you look at the difference of the like smoothness and the quality of how this is developing and the purpose of it, right? So the real question is, Lawler, why is this important? Why do we care about this? Why is this a big deal? And the whole premises behind it is the fact that what you are doing when you go off the sidewall for an air dribble is with a flip reset, you are allowing yourself to change the trajectory of where the ball is going midair. It is giving you another option when you are going for a touch. And the benefit is to keep that defender guessing when they are going for a challenge. If I come off the wall and it looks like I'm going for a standard air dribble, most people are going to look at it and say the implementation of this air dribble and the trajectory of which it's going, I need to save here. You go up for the challenge and all of a sudden this guy still jumps and you're like, what the heck? How did he get past me? He didn't get a flip reset. And it's because he never used his flip in the first place. He kept it while going off the wall. And that's what's exciting about it. The thing to understand in the competitive scene, though, is that players are going to preemptively challenge you. You're not going to get that level of time and space. And challenges are made with the intent of pushing it in a certain way. If I challenge you from this angle, it's to push it to the corner. It's to push it to the right because that's where my teammate is. The whole point is to cut off that thing. Like, it's going to happen sooner. It's why freestylers aren't really successful in the RLCS, because they don't have the time to go for the things that they would like to. So because of that, this may not have the same level of implementation, but it is one more thing that, depending on if the circumstances line up, it could basically change the way that some players go for air dribbles now. To where, yes, I can go for that and keep my jump. I could go for a flip reset. I could fake both. I can do whatever I want. It allows you to manipulate the ball in a bunch of different ways. And that's kind of the conversation of where it's led to, is will this be implemented into the RLCS? And if so, how easily and how accessible is it going to be able to do? You're already seeing wall dashes and all that kind of stuff to speed up alongside the wall. There's a lot of different things that pros are doing. It's just a matter of, does the circumstance present itself to be viable? So with all that said, let's actually jump into replays. I've actually got to boot up Rocket League for this, which is not something I do regularly, to showcase what this is actually doing and the physics behind it of how it works. So with that said, let's actually jump into the game. So again, shout outs to Yamato for sending me this actual replay file. This is the literal same exact play in the game's actual replay system. He sent me the physical file. Massive shout outs to him. Shout outs to Fetelix as well. Fetelix is the one who basically has found this new mechanic. And I say that in air quotes because it is not a new mechanic. The Hel Jump has been around for a while. Like I said, August of 2018 is when it was basically discovered. What's different is the implementation of how it's being used. And what they are doing in the most basic sense is when they go up here, this is a jump that is going to occur, which pops the car up. They then wave dash diagonally on the sidewall, which will then force the top right wheel of the ball to pop, and then allows them to jump again, which will propel them off to the side. The way they are doing this is by putting force this way and this way at the same time and having a surface below them. It forces the momentum to go that way. In this case, if we were to flip this, this is the wall and this is where they're filling over to here. So if you take this, this is here. They're trying to push themselves out. So if we slow-mo this, hopefully this will make sense and we'll try to break it down. So let's bring this down to like 10% and kind of showcase to you guys what's happening. So he's going off, controls the ball, plays it into his standard air dribble. Okay. You're going to see him jump. So he gets to that corner. The reason why he's jumping at the corner is you need this lip to make sure that you still, with the physics-based engine, gravity is pushing him this way, but the jump is basically eating, or the corner of the wall is basically eating his jump. If you've ever seen yourself like come across this wall and you like Velcro to the wall, it's the same property. When you're coming around this wall and you go to jump, so like you go across this wall and you like jump here, you hit the jump button, whether it's X or A on your controller. The gravity is pushing you this way based upon the friction that's created by your wheels, but you can't jump off the wall because you're going across this way. You're I guess, I don't know the exact phrasing. I'm not a physicist. Centrifugal force, yeah, we'll go with that, is pushing you against the wall. So it eats your jump, or is called being Velcroed to the wall, is what a lot of pros phrase it. They're being Velcroed is, I guess, the terminology that's been deemed. That same process is happening here. So when you're going up the side wall, the centrifugal force is pushing you this way, but even though you are jumping, you are still slightly popping the car. So if we go a little bit further, you're going to see the jump animation probably on his wheels here. So there's the jump, right? So all of his force is going this way and trying to push this way. So he is jumping with the attempt to go this way, but because of the centrifugal force, he is still shoved against the wall. The thing is, though, it's enough to pop off the wall. He's still hugging the wall. He's still on the wall itself, but it's enough to pop off. And the thing he's going to do next is he's going to use his second jump, the one within 1.5 seconds, to wave dash back against the wall. Okay, wait for it. As soon as he uses that next jump to go against the wall, he is putting force with a sidewall going here. He has the force going this way, and he's moving this way. And for every action, there has to be a reaction. He did wave dash. Because he's doing an air roll and a sideward, he did do one. It's showing off the back wheels. The back wheels have touched. The front wheels are now going to touch. All that force has to go somewhere, and it's going to pop him off the wall this way. So I'll try to showcase it as it happens again. So he's going to control the ball, play it with an air dribble. Has boost going up. All of his momentum is hugging into the wall. All the gravity and everything is pushing him into the wall. He gets to the lip and jumps. Because he jumps, he now has 1.5 seconds to make another jump. But what he's going to do is he's going to use that jump to push this wheel against the wall, which will reset these two that are on a surface and these two which are on a surface. But all that momentum still has to carry through, which will then rubber band him off, but he still has his jump available. He braked right there before the wall, no, just to line up the air dribble. Which side does he flip? He is doing a diagonal flip this way. He is trying to get this wheel to bounce and use that suspension, just like we saw in the Hel flip earlier. You look at the beginning of the video that I did, where he talks about hitting the nose of the wheel and popping it up. He's doing the same thing. He's just doing it diagonally and into the wall instead. So it goes up the wall, bounces off. You don't see the jump. You then hear it there. You should be able to hear it briefly. Here, I'll make it so you guys can hear it. Let me turn on my audio so you guys can hear this better. So there's the first jump. You hear it. But it allows him to pop and propel himself off the wall. But because all four wheels touch at that time, it keeps his flip. And now he's able to do whatever he wants with it. In this case, it's going to be a musty. So 50% time, we're going to run this through again. First jump. Side flip. Allows him to keep going. You can tell he's a freestyler because of his camera is like all up in there. But if you normally jump, shoot off the wall, you still have your second flip. No. It's a different way. Instead of using a reset, to me, a reset implies that you are mid-air and finding a way to then get your jump back. This is him finding a way to not use his jump while coming off the wall. Technically, he is using a jump and a side dash to get off the wall, but he's finding a way to make sure that he still has it when he takes off. I think that's what's impressive about it. It is weird that there's no sound. There's no sound or audio cue of him using that jump. That is what is really interesting about this replay file. I don't hear any sound or any audio of that second jump. First, second jump. That's so interesting. Let me check that Reddit clip as well that we have. There's no audio on it either, which stinks. The thing I will say, and the thing I recommend most, is they have, I'm pretty sure Yamato has set up a YouTube tutorial that is in Japanese, and you can put captioning on it, and it will explain it. It explains it very well based upon what's happening. And I'll link that down below. But like the thing about this that I'm looking at that surprised me, there's a couple factors. There's no audio on the jump, and there's no like visual indication. Like on this first jump, right? You see it there. You see the jump happen. This one, he just bonks off. Maybe he did it without a flip. I don't think there's a way for him to do it without a flip. How the heck does he propel so far off the wall there? He had to. Well, the question is like, how is he propelling so far off the wall here without a jump? He's definitely pressing jump. He has to. There's no way to propel that far off the wall without it. He's using the momentum of the car and rocking the car, and it's bouncing off. Even still, the friction of the wheels, even if you were to hold your drift key there and there's no friction, he would just slide back down. He's 100% jumping a second time. He has to. There's no other way for him to propel and use like ways to get to the left. You have to. That's insane. It's so interesting to how like it's been implemented. But the question I have is, how easy is it going to be recreatable? Is it something that you can actually go for in a competitive match? Is it something that's you're even going to have time to do? And we've obviously seen it develop. Yeah, even though I don't hear the jump, even though I don't see a visual indication of it, he most definitely jumps. He uses a second jump there. He has to. There's no other way for him to get off the wall. The only thing I can think of here, and I'm going to slow this down, it is a wave dash. So comes up, uses the jump. That's what gets the pop. It still keeps him close enough so his wheels are touching the wall. You can see them right now touching the wall. And then he uses the second jump there, and that's what allows him to pop off. So you can see it in the wall itself, right? So his wheels are touching the wall. He jumps and wave dashes in, and then it like bounces him off. So I guess the biggest question for you, chat, and for everybody who's watching this video, a couple things. Number one, if you want to see it explained in detail by the person who did it first, there is a video by the person who did it initially down in the description. I will put it there. The other thing is the implementation of it. Is it going to be viable in the RLCS? There's a couple things. I don't know how difficult it is to recreate. I also don't know if they're going to have enough time and space to do for it. But if that opportunity does present itself, is it worthwhile going for that as compared to just going for a flip reset? If people aren't used to it and they aren't expecting someone to still have their jump available, it could completely catch somebody off guard. I don't know if it's going to be something that you see regularly. The other thing is here is because this is a 1v1 with freestylers in an exhibition match. If I'm the guy in net here, and you guys aren't seeing it, this guy would never just sit in the net and watch himself get mustied on. If you're a pro player, you're not sitting at the goal line just watching. You're going to go up and challenge that, and then you're going to have players behind you, right? you're going to have this guy come out of the net and challenge, and then you're going to probably have a player rotating through backboard, maybe someone near post, whatever, right? Someone's going to challenge it. They're going to force him to use that jump early, just like a flip reset. The thing is, though, is players have gotten so good at flip resets. Is it better to just add this as another thing you could implement in? It's the same way as challenging a flip reset. Well, I do think it's another thing that they can use to implement and add another weapon to the repertoire. I do think it's going to be challenged and defended the exact same way. Early challenge, get in front of it, cut off an angle. Someone on defense is going to go and challenge and find a way to either go high or low on it and force you to either use that jump or force a 50 so it goes the way that they want it to. So I don't know if this is going to be the next big thing, but I am excited to see on how it develops over the next month, year, whatever. Because it's the first time we're seeing it publicly, I will say, after the event or after the events of the Hel Jump coming out in like 2018. It's now 2022. So figure 2.5, 3 years it's been for this to take to finally see someone use it and make it public. Whether people have done it or not, or if you're just someone in chat trying to get attention. You know who I'm talking about. So I am curious on how that's going to apply. The last thing is the name. Initially, I put this in quotes saying it's a new mechanic. It is not a new mechanic. The Hel Jump has been around for a while, but the variation and the implementation of using this in a different scenario is now making it possibly viable. We'll have to wait and see if it does become viable. Because of that, is it still a Hel Jump off the wall, or is it a more simplified, as it's been deemed off of Fetelix, the Lix Jump? Lix Jump. I'm curious on how the naming convention is going to go, but I think now you guys should let me know in the comments down below and people in chat. Lix Jump, is it still a Hel Jump? People are calling it the Helix Jump because it's taking the Hel Jump and the Lix part and putting them together. There's a bunch of different options. So let me know what you guys think we should call it. I think either the Lix Jump. I do also like the Helix Jump because then it gives credit to the origin as well as the new implementation. Curious on what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. But again, interesting stuff. Shout outs to both Fetelix as well as Yamato for sending me this stuff. I will link their stuff down below. Make sure you guys go check them out and support them. Freestylers over in Japan. Also the ability to put the actual like original video of Yamato. I'm pretty sure there's the one who breaks down and explains the exact situation going on. Go check that video out. He talks about it. He has captions and all that kind of stuff as well. So this is just me trying to bring it to your guys' attention if you guys haven't seen it yet and get awareness of this, because I do think it could lead to something potentially. But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the pros to see on how they implement it. So with that said, if you guys enjoy the content, as always, thumbs up, subscribe, notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.